My video was mainly talking about how Blackbeard was utilized throughout the plot, and because of how he's utilized throughout the plot, Blackbeard is going to always come out on top regardless of how strong he is or how strong his opponent is. And yeah, Blackbeard ran away from Akainu, but the thing is, it doesn't matter whether or not he ran from Akainu, because even if he did fight Akainu, somehow Blackbeard was going to come out on top of that. And I really do believe that because he fought Sengoku and Garp, who individually may or may not be stronger than Akainu, but together they're definitely stronger than Akainu. Because keep in mind, Akainu pretty much just showed up by himself, and he was against the entire Blackbeard crew. The same Blackbeard crew that was more than willing to fight Sengoku and Garp at Marineford. And while he did say it's too early for him to fight Shanks or Akainu, I feel like that's not because of how powerful he is. Because again, he was more than willing to fight Sengoku and Garp, who I'd argue are a little more dangerous in this moment than Shanks or Akainu would have been. And I feel like that reason is the same reason he was more than willing to fight Law until he realized how difficult it was going to be. And so when Blackbeard says he's not ready to fight Akainu or Shanks, I interpret that as him just not having enough information about Akainu or Shanks in order to confidently fight them or make a plan against them. Because again, he was more than willing to fight Law until he started seeing Law pull out shit he'd never seen before, and this is the first thing he said. Going back to this, the reason he was 100% willing to fight Sengoku and Garp is because he knew he was gonna have to fight his way out of Marineford anyway. Because I'm sure that if Blackbeard went to Marineford and already planned to take Whitebeard's fruit, he also planned to have to fight his way out, which would mean he would have to fight Sengoku or Garp or the Admirals. And if Akainu chose to fight Blackbeard on Marineford, I'm sure he would have fought him. But Blackbeard didn't have a plan to fight Akainu here, he didn't even prepare to fight Akainu here, so he ran. And just to make one more point about him not wanting to fight Akainu, Blackbeard never takes on fights that don't benefit him anyway. There's no reason to fight Akainu here. Same reason that he chose to not fight Okiji. There's no reason to fight him. His crew got frozen and that's really bad, but at the end of the day, Blackbeard doesn't really give a fuck about his crew, and I'm sure that if he could choose to trade this guy to get Aokiji on his crew, he would most definitely do that. And that's essentially what happened here. Aokiji could have definitely killed his entire crew at any moment. I don't think he could have killed Blackbeard, but again, he could have killed his entire crew at any moment. And in that moment, Blackbeard decided that it was more important to try to get Aokiji on his crew than it was to try to argue for his crew's life. Because remember, Blackbeard isn't Luffy. Blackbeard does not give a fuck about his crew if they stop serving him. And I'm sure that Blackbeard thought in this moment, if he had to choose between this guy and Aokiji, there's no question. And just to touch on the Mihawk part of that comment, Blackbeard would never fight him anyway because there's no reason to, there's nothing to gain there. But if for whatever reason, if Blackbeard saw there to be a benefit from fighting Mihawk, then he would fight him and he would most likely win. Because again, the plot has shown us that regardless of whether he knows what's coming or how much damage he actually takes, if there's something for Blackbeard to gain, he's gonna win.